So today I thought I would share with you guys one of my funniest and weirdest manifesting stories ever. This is going back in my personal files quite a few years now, but today I'm going to share with you how I manifested a prince. So if you're interested in hearing the story, then be sure to keep watching. What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen. I am a life coach and law of attraction teacher, and you have stumbled across my YouTube channel where I bring you 2 new videos every week all about the art of combining mindset and manifestation in order to create your best life ever. And if that sounds like something that is of interest to you, then be sure to hit that subscribe button. So yes, as I said at the top of the video, I manifested a prince. And this video probably isn't what you guys are going to expect, but I thought this was a funny story that I've never shared with you guys here on my channel, and I thought I would do a video about it and tell you about what happened. So this is going back quite a few years now. This was the period right after my marriage had ended. I was sort of newly single, out in the world again. And I remember at that point in time, I had this idea, this kind of thought that would come into my mind already, like, when am I going to find my prince? When am I going to find Prince Charming? When am I going to, prince. This word and this phrase was in my mind constantly. So remember that. I'll come back. I'll tell you the story first, and I'll come back and I'll talk about what happened. So during this state of time, I was sort of randomly dating people, meeting people, and I ended up meeting this person at one point who, like, I had a good evening with him, like great chemistry, vibe, conversation, all that stuff. And it turns out later on, I find out that he is actually like a distant relative of the royal family. So actually, okay, so not technically a prince, but I was somebody living in Vancouver, British Columbia, very, very far away from the UK, very, very far away from anyone that could claim like a royal title. And I just, at the time, I thought it was really funny. Like, I managed to meet this person. And nothing actually ended up happening with this person. He was lovely, but it wasn't meant to be, whatever. It was like a very short meeting, but it was just a really funny thing to think about, like, that I had this sentence and this word and this vibe in my head, and it actually came true. So I wanted to share that story with you guys today because I think it is so interesting sometimes how we manifest things into our life without even really meaning to. And of course we're doing that because we are very powerful people and we are manifesting all the time. So when someone like me calls myself a manifesting teacher, what I'm really helping you to do is just to learn how to do that consciously, because you're doing it all the time anyways. So what happened when I manifested the prince? I know that that's the part that everyone tuned in to watch this story about. But what I really was doing at the time without realizing it was I had this specific sentence that I was saying to myself over and over and over again. And I mean, it's kind of comical to look back now at that time. Like, I don't know why I was so fixated on that word. Like, this isn't really the kind of person I am, but like, I think it was just that kind of freshly single, wondering what's going to happen next kind of vibe. And for some reason, this idea got in my head and I kept repeating it to myself. So that would be step number 1. If you are fixated on actually attracting your real prince into your life, I would really recommend thinking about this, making this an intention. And like, again, I was not doing that consciously, but I was actually doing that with my thoughts. I was doing that with my intentions without realizing what I was actually doing. So that is tip number 1. Be really specific about what you're calling in, because it really can happen and you can find a distant member of the royal family in Vancouver, British Columbia even. Okay, step number 2 is being consistent with it, is to keep going back to this thought, to keep going back to this intention over and over and over again. And that is really key. And I think I don't mean staying in a state of asking over and over and over again, but more like reaffirming to yourself that this is what you want and that this is what you are going for. I think the more that you show up for yourself and your intentions like that, the easier it is for things to come in. This is a little bit of a different energy than asking. This is like reaffirming, like, this is what I want and I'm waiting for it. This is what I want and I'm waiting for it. Again, didn't have any idea at the time that that's what I was doing, but that's actually what was happening behind the scenes. And the third and final step that I'm going to share with you guys so you can go through and manifest your own prince is to just open up the world of possibility for yourself. So this is, I think, one of the reasons why this worked for me is because I wasn't really that super attached to this idea, which might sound like a frustrating thing for me to say, but I had this idea and I wasn't also walking around telling myself all the time that this could never happen. So I think that's what happens for many of us when we decide that we want something big, when we want to manifest something big. We get excited and we put the intention out there, and the next thing that happens is that we're walking around saying to ourselves, well, I could never meet a prince because, you know, I live in this part of the world, or I'm this kind of person, or blah, 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 blah. So you have to remember that the idea of possibility has to exist in your own mind first. And so many of us are so good at making excuses and reasons and stories for why we can't actually have the things that we want. So if you are interested in manifesting a specific person, a prince, something big like that, I want you to be really clear with yourself about if you are doing this, if you are making up stories and excuses and reasons why you can't have the thing you want. Because back then, again, I was playing with this idea of the prince and I was thinking about this, and I had this like kind of silly fantasy in my brain, admittedly, which is pretty unlike me, to be honest. But it was also very fun and very light and airy. I wasn't like super attached to it. I wasn't making a big story about it. But most importantly, I wasn't making a big story about why I couldn't have it. And that is why it showed up for me. So if I can manifest a prince appearing out of thin air in Vancouver, British Columbia, far away from anyone with a royal title, who knows what you guys can manifest for yourself. So I wanted to share this story today, even though it wasn't the big fairy tale happy ending that maybe you were hoping for. But I wanted to share this because I wanted to inspire you guys to remember that you are so much more powerful than you think. And when this thing happened to me back then, I remember after it happened, I was kind of like laughing to myself, like I can't believe this actually happened to me. And this is kind of actually proof of how powerful I am as a manifester. And that's not just because I'm powerful, that's because we are all powerful. And so that's part of my mission, is to share this power with you guys. If you guys can dream it, if you guys can think about it, if you really want it, you can make things happen, and you can make all kinds of crazy things happen for yourself. But again, I think one of the most important things to do is to stay light, to not get too attached, to have fun, but let the universe surprise you. And the universe can surprise you by giving you exactly what you're asking for and making you go, wow, I can't believe this is actually happening. So I thought I would share this story because it's kind of funny, especially looking backwards, but it actually, I think it's an inspiring thing to think about. Like when you really get into the nitty gritty of it, like this isn't something that just I am capable of. This is something we are all capable of. So ladies, if you want your prince, it is time to start to go out there and manifest him. Who knows who you can meet? Who knows what's going to be at the cafe tomorrow? Who knows what's going to be at the bar tomorrow? There are so many people in this world, and why not manifest what you want to yourself today? Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope that this has inspired you to think about manifesting somebody into your life. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please do me a favor, give it a like. If you know somebody that could use this message, pass this along to them. If you want to learn more from me, please come on over to my site. I have my free How to Feel Better course on offer for you guys over there if you sign up for updates. I would love to see you in that class, so come on over and sign up. If you want to watch more of my videos, you can click my latest upload right here. And if you want to stick around and watch more of my content in the future, hit the subscribe button right here. Thank you guys again so much for being here to hang out here with me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, just remember, as always, get ready for the miracle. See you guys.